I grew up in a Christian home. My father was in the ministry and my family were Christians. We traveled the world, going to different churches and witnessing many miracles as part of my father's ministry and where we went as a family. But it came to the time where in my life, it wasn't real for me. It wasn't something that had challenged me in my life. And I got to the age of about 18 years old and I decided that I wanted to leave home. I wanted to go over abroad to England. So I packed my bags and I went to take on the world to find out who I was, to find out what it was. But ultimately, it was a search to find a purpose. It was a search to find a belonging, somewhere to belong, a place, a home, whatever it might be. And I spent many years in the world searching for something tangible, something that I could take hold of. I remember considering going into the army because that was a really wonderful brotherhood to belong to. There was a purpose as the country, whatever you're fighting for, there's a purpose, there's a direction there's a belonging, that sense of belonging. That soon fell away. I enjoyed my sport. I gave myself fully to it. I love playing rugby. But it came to this time where it doesn't matter what I try to hold and what I try to belong to. It was shortly lived. It was something that never lasted forever. It was just a passing moment. And when I got to the end of all of these roads and in the sport, I picked up an injury. It wasn't long before someone else had my jersey on, playing probably better than I was, and took my place in the team. And you slowly realize that in the world, with all of these things that I had that I thought were real to me, were replaceable. I was replaceable. And I never had a place. I never had a home. And despite many a year invested into these things that I loved and I cherished, I never belonged to them. I was never part of that family. And I got to the end of my tether, end of my road after the adventures that the world has. And it was somewhere in my heart where I desired that home. I desired to feel that I belonged. And I remember saying to the Lord, in what distance relationship I'd had with him. And I said, Lord, I've done it my way. I've tried everything I possibly could. And this is where I've got myself. And I thought, you know what? If there was one chance you have right now, one thing led to another. I was able to be in a meeting at a church, at a youth camp meeting. And it was that time where I'd felt the Lord call me. I felt him speak to my heart, him speak to me in my deepest place. And I'd never heard him before like that. And I responded and I gave my life to Jesus. And in that instant, my life was changed. All of the things that I held and I cherished in the world were no longer part of my life. I no longer loved them. My passion wasn't for them anymore. My language changed. My love of alcohol and drugs, I was set free instantly. And I had no desire to partake or to participate in anything to do with those things. But most of all, what I felt in my heart was that I had finally come to a place where I belonged. I didn't have to do anything to be accepted. I didn't have to prove myself in any way, shape or form. But I was who I was and I was received for who I was. And it was in those times when I realized that God had a plan for my life. And all of these things that I had chased in the world that weren't real, when I came to the Lord, it was so real for me. And that's when I found Jesus. Or should I say, when Jesus found me. And he pulled me out of that miry clay and he changed my life once and for all. And I soon realized that my home wasn't temporary, but my home was forever in Jesus Christ himself. And if he hasn't already done the same for you, he certainly can. He changed my life and he can change yours.